Hello everyone, and as you guys know, Saturday has just passed and we have a brand new episode of Sailor Moon Crystal to talk about. So, for anyone who is going to be like, oh my gosh, no, it's based on the manga, not the anime or prior to, yeah. Just turn it off right now, and also how about you don't dislike the video because... if you're not going to explain exactly why you dislike the video, why dislike it in the first place? All you can do is just say, screw this, click out of it, and go to something else. Easy as that. Don't be like J. Jonah Jameson and basically don't have a reason why he hates Spider-Man and calls Spider-Man a menace. With that said, let's get on with this new episode of Sailor Moon Crystal, MAMORU CHIBA, aka Tuxedo Mask, number 7. Alright, let's get started, shall we? So, basically, it looks like a little buddy, the little buddy who actually was commenting in a previous video, she actually talked about how the parents won't know that she was missing because she was in a trance, and her brother was also in a trance. But it turns out she doesn't wake up, she does wake up, but she's at Mamoru's place, and she doesn't even go straight home. She actually just goes to the arcade. Yeah. But anyways, before that, they basically made sure they packed in everything that happened. One thing I should tell you is that this episode is, I know it's not based on the anime, but this episode actually is 2 of the anime episodes into 1. And what's even funnier is that if you could combine the 2 episodes, it's very, very easy to do it. Because it's episode 33 and 34 in the original release, the original series. So that means that they could just made it 1 hour block, and there you go. But anyways, it's awesome how they went straight for the intro. The intro just went out of nowhere as soon as they showed that she woke up at his place. So, basically they were talking about and explaining how or why he needs the legendary crystal. And it's because he needs to regain his lost memories. And he also gives us the tale of the car accident. But this time they give it a little bit more detail. Unlike previously, they don't really show us anything about how it was his 6th birthday, and they actually were walking around. You got to see what his mom and dad kind of look like, even though you don't really get to see their faces. But still, it's better that they actually showed us the fact that the mom and dad looks like this, and then they showed us the whole car crash that kind of destroyed his whole entire life. And basically, at his 6th birthday, he lost everything. His memory, his name, even when they were talking to him, telling him his name or saying his name, he couldn't identify with it. So, that's basically what he wants the legendary crystal for. Is for that, and also his dreams. He tells her about the dreams, even though I don't think in the original he actually tells her about the dreams he had. But anyways, the dream was telling him about the legendary crystal and the fact that it was the princess, the moon princess, but he doesn't know that it's the moon princess talking to him. All he knows is just a girl. And of course, yeah, you know why Usagi asked the reason for why, and Tuxedo Mask actually wants his identity secret. Yeah. Apparently, he just wants Usagi and him to know that he is Tuxedo Mask and not anyone else. So it's just 2 people who know. And one thing I must have skipped over, but I remember talking about it. Yeah, here it is. It's the fact that he has no magic on his tuxedo whatsoever. His costume is straight up laid out. His mask, his top hat, his coat. You see many times that he just transforms, in the original anime. You see him actually just transform out of nowhere. All he has to do is just have a rose and Shazam. He's Tuxedo Mask. It's not like he actually has it underneath his clothes and he has to take off his clothes like many superheroes. Well, at least one superhero we know. So, yeah. Oh, anyways, Usako. So, apparently, he has created a nickname for her. In the previous one, he didn't have a nickname for him except for Bunhead. Or, in the case, for everyone who knows the original that watched in America, we know her as Meatball Head. So, yeah. So, they give each other nicknames. Usaku, and as for him, she basically gave him Mamo-chan. This is kind of a cute and a mushy girl way. I'm basically a guy, so I can truly tell you that this is what the DVD Grouch in X-Men. He basically, well, Joel, yeah, it's Joel from X-Men, aka Comic Book Cast. He would technically call this a love letter to all the female anime lovers out there. The fact that in the previous one we got the romance thing, but in this one they basically made sure down to the detailed, and they got rid of all the other stuff. In quotations, I'll say other stuff because if I continue to explain what's the other stuff, you're gonna see the previous series another way, even though chances are, if you continue watching these videos, you already kind of see that it is technically already seen in the other way. But anyways, one thing that's interesting, which I'm going to have to put that, no, it's in the other one, yeah. So I'm making sure that I have all the videos, episodes, so when you want to look at the original stuff, you can. And I think this one's actually in episode 32. But it looks like Sailor V is the person talking to Luna over the comm. So that means that it's not Artemis. This time Artemis is not actually doing this. He's not actually the one who's talking to Luna, unlike in the original one. This time it's Sailor V herself who's giving her commands and everything. With that said, we move on to the bad guys. Queen Metalia. We also get to have the backstory of it, and the fact that Dark Kingdom's base, aka castle, is actually near the North Pole. So that's where they are this whole entire time, is the North Pole. Unlike previously, I think it's a dark dimension, yeah. So for the previous one, they're in the dark dimension, but in this one, they actually have their base on Earth. Wow. And it looks like it was Queen Beryl, who actually released her with her hand. And it looks like finally the backstabbing that we know from the previous series has come to play. So Beryl is planning on backstabbing Metalia with the silver crystal so she can rule the world and not vice versa. That's the backstabbing we know as, it is the backstabbing we know as fans. We know that all of the freaking enemies backstab. Well, at first it didn't. Yeah, the first two were okay, but then as soon as freaking Zoisite came to the scene, the backstabbing began. Yeah, the backstabbing really began, and then after that, it died out. So technically, I guess you could say Zoisite is the only one that backstabs. But Queen Beryl also killed all of them. Yeah, as soon as she had enough, she straight up killed all of them. So it's kind of like, yeah, Queen Beryl doesn't give second chances. She was very strict. And Zoisite is a backstabber who made sure that freaking lover boy, I'm going to say my lover boy, got killed. Let's continue on. So it looks like Naru actually gets to have a part to play, finally. Unlike in the previous episodes, Naru was just nothing but a minor character, but this time she gets to have a part to play. And they have a video shop, which is new. And of course it's new because it's Rental Shop Dark. But I think it would have went better if it was called Dark Shop Rental. That sounds better. I really hope that when when Viz Media actually redubs it, I hope they basically call it dark shop rental. That sounds better. Instead of rental shop dark, it's kind of like, ugh. Anyways, Amy, Mako, and Usagi was hanging out at school lunch. And they were talking about Sailor V, and guess who comes up? Umino, which Umino was creepier as ever. This is the worst time we ever seen Umino being very creepy. But of course, yeah, it's the freaking video shop. They're the ones that made her creepy. And now everybody is looking for Sailor Moon. Luna, yet again, is at school, which is kind of like, eventually the teacher has to say something. Because every time the cat is in the class, it's kind of like it's not actually being brought up at all. It's kind of like, so they do allow pets in the school. I figure eventually they should do something about this. I mean, I don't want Luna to get scolded, and of course Usagi, she gets detention all the time, so it's nothing new to her. But I'm just saying, it doesn't make sense if you allow freaking Luna to be in the school and the teacher is not saying crap. I'm just saying, it would be cool if they actually have some kind of restriction on this. But if they don't, it's okay. I'm okay with it. It's just that I'm just saying, chances are, if someone brought a cat to school, they'll get so in trouble. Yeah, just make it look like as if it's an actual school instead of, it's a school, but we're kind of laid back, even though I did make her go stand outside when she was late. It's like, yeah, if you allow pets, then you should allow students to be late. I'm just saying. Well, anyway, it's kind of funny that Usagi in the ketchup, the fact that she's like, oh my gosh, ketchup all over my face, and she's just, yeah, her usual. And it turns out that, well, we already know, she stole Tuxedo's trinket. Yeah, she stole it from Tuxedo Mask by accident. And here's some more mushy stuff. And yeah, she was looking for a handkerchief to wipe herself off with, but she couldn't find it. And now this is where it gets very cute, is the fact that Tuxedo Mask took her handkerchief. So they're both thieves. They both stole from each other. They deserve each other. They both stole each other. I mean, it's kind of funny. It is kind of funny. The fact that she stole it without him knowing, and he stole something from her without her knowing. That's a good one. That was a really good one. Well, anyways, Naru's being used yet again, along with everyone else, thanks to the video shop. And the video game actually talked to them. Yeah, so they found one of the discs from the rental shop, the video rental, put it in the video game, and then the video game started going crazy, spit it out, and then all of a sudden you have Sailor V, the video game form, actually talking to them saying it's very, very bad. This disc is very, very bad. And I was like, what? It's like, whoa. Well, anyways, Mamoru actually has second thoughts on telling Usagi the stuff, especially about his identity. Well, anyways, there's even more messed up things going on. Okay, here's the question, is that how did Rei and Mako get risk communicators? As we can see in the previous episodes, one of the previous episodes, they had to play the video game to get the risks communicators and to get her pin. Well, get Amy's pin. That's about it. As for risk communicators, I guess it's Luna, but I do have to say, I would rather they actually went into freaking arcade and played, and then boom, there you go. But, oh well. So we get to see a new way how Sailor Moon uses moon healing acceleration, or whatever, escalation. Yeah, so we got to see that, but Zoisite actually proved that he's very powerful, and basically everyone's in trouble. Even Sailor Moon is getting choked. Yeah, she's really in trouble. She's really getting choked. And it's a touchy moment between the two, Tuxedo Mask and Sailor Moon. And it really got intense. It really did get intense. Especially the fact that he had a shard. If you were looking at the previous series, you know what it means when Zoid's sight has a shard aimed at Tuxedo Mask. Or technically, it was Sailor Moon, but Tuxedo Mask got in the way to save him. Or most likely it was just the fact that Tuxedo Mask just got... Well, anyways, Tuxedo Mask got wounded from that big shard in the previous series. So when I saw that, I was like, oh... And as I said, it's a mix of 2 episodes. And Sailor V arrives, just like what happened previously. Sailor V came to the rescue. I would leave this in the next video, but I'd rather talk about it now. And the real thing is this, is that in the previous series and in this series, one thing you'll notice is that Sailor V's uniform is different from what she actually wears with the Sailor Scouts. It's weird. I mean, they never really gave us a reason or clue why she's wearing blue and red and she's wearing those glasses. I know to conceal her identity, but we never really truly got the understanding of how come her pin most likely is orange and yet she's dressed in red and blue. I mean, it makes sense if she actually has another pin and the other pin is just like Sailor Moon's other pin and she's able to change her outfit into something better. Well, I'll say quote unquote better, but it makes more sense if you allow Sailor V / Sailor Venus to actually wear the orange suit we all know that she wears all the way to the end. It doesn't really make sense that she actually wears the red and blue. Maybe in manga she does wear the red and blue and she has a reason for it. So for anyone who actually can answer this question of how come she doesn't wear her orange suit until when she meets the Sailor Scouts, and why in the world does she has the previous one, and we most likely will never see that previous one ever again, except for splashbacks. Well, anyways, that's all I have to say. This was a very, very good episode. If you aren't watching, you definitely should start watching it. And for anyone who is like, but I'll wait till the English version comes out, suit yourself. It's still a good series no matter what. And if hopefully they'll do exactly what they did with the previous one, which is kind of stupid. It's the fact that they'll just dub it and don't touch it at all. That's what I would like them to do, is not touching it at all. This one, they shouldn't touch. The other one, since Deke did it, they should have touched it and they should have tried their hardest to get all of the archived stuff instead of just saying, WB has it. But anyways, thank you for listening. I am webbing out, and stay tuned for more. In 2 weeks, you'll get a brand new episode, and of course, it might be Sailor V. Chances are it could be Sailor V. And since the other one is far along, I most likely will incorporate the secret episode that tells us all about her past. Even though chances are Sailor Moon Crystal might actually tell the story too, but for right now, I will just incorporate that one in the next video. So thank you for listening, and of course, I'm flipping out.